Welcome to Guerrilla Sports Off Court, a post-game live reaction following the Kings playing against the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets were at home, and we're going to get into all things Denver Nuggets, why Nikola Jokic should be in GOAT conversations, and the game itself, what we can expect from the Nuggets for the rest of the month. This Kings team, lots to discuss, but this is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. Trusted American salary-based mortgage consultants want to help you get into a better interest rate and lower your monthly payments. So head to trustedamerican.com to see how they can help you save some money today.
Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. I'm just heading over to Twitter to let everybody know that we are live. If you are tuning in and you have a Twitter, go ahead and hit it with a little repost to let everybody know that we're live so we can get the comments section bumping, the chat really talking tonight because there are a lot of things to discuss. Most importantly, I said a couple shows ago that it is not unrealistic to start having very, very serious conversations about Nikola Jokic and his GOAT status, okay? And I know you're probably sitting there thinking, he's won one ring. First of all, if that is the first thing you go to, you're likely a Lakers fan. And we're over it, okay? There's more to basketball than just winning rings. There's a lot that has to go right that is completely out of these superstars' control, i.e. health, i.e. coaching, who they are playing with. LeBron James has been surrounded by Hall of Fame all-stars for most, if not all of his career. Same goes for Jordan. He had some pretty notable guys playing around him. That doesn't take away from how phenomenal they were as athletes, but we have to give credit where it's due. And what we're seeing with Nikola Jokic playing alongside now Russell Westbrook, who you could make a serious case for Hall of Fame. He's an all-star. He's phenomenal. For the majority of Nikola Jokic's career, it has been Nikola Jokic, the all-star, playing around very talented players, yes, but who he has had in his company definitely matters when you're having the conversation about how great he is. I took to Twitter, as I always do, to run my mouth. It's my Twitter. I'm allowed to do that. And I was talking about the half-court, one-handed buzzer beater that so seamlessly splashed through the net for Nikola Jokic. A shot that I think put a lot of jaws on the floor. It gave me goosebumps all over my body. And I watch Nikola Jokic play every single week. What he is able to do and the way in which he does it, the seamlessness, the calmness, the nonchalantness that drives all of you effing insane because you think he doesn't care. Do you think it's possible to do what Nikola Jokic does if you don't care about what you're doing? There's a thing called passion, and I think you need it to be as good as Nikola Jokic is. The best part about Nikola Jokic is, however, he doesn't give a shit what you think, actually at all. And he doesn't even care about winning another MVP, and we all know he probably should. I did also see on Twitter, and I have to just make mention of this, I did respond to this as well, and I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it because I'm not going to give this moron much of my time. I'm really, really not. And you're probably sitting there thinking, Liv, that feels really, really crazy to talk about race in this situation. That just feels really insane. Well, there was a tweet that said, if you're still Jokic for MVP, it's racially motivated. I'm sorry. What? Why are we even talking about that? I don't care who's running for MVP. Did you say the same thing when people wanted Luka Doncic for MVP? That is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. It is so ludicrous. It is so, grasping at straws. I'm assuming this guy is a huge SGA stan. His freaking username is Shy Sprint. He's got a picture of SGA as his profile, so nobody knows who he really is or what he looks like, of course. But to even say that statement is bonkers to me. Anybody with eyes and a relatively average IQ can look at a stat line that is 35, 22, and 17, 2 of 3 from the three-point line, and say, yeah, that player's probably pretty good. Not to mention, he also had 1 steal and 2 blocks. Yeah, that player's probably pretty good. I don't care what flippin' color he is. He could be green for all I care. That's a good basketball player. And let's not forget, this is only scratching the surface for Nikola Jokic, okay? Scratching the surface. Did you know that player that Twitter account idolizes so badly. Nikola Jokic has more triple doubles this month than SGA does in his entire career. That's just one name. Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, Anthony Davis, Isaiah Thomas, Steve Nash, Dwayne Wade, Tim Duncan, Rick Barry, Paul George, just to name a few. Nikola Jokic has more triple doubles this month than those players do in their entire careers. I don't care what color he is. The fact that was even a tweet that was in the universe that made it to my For You page is sickening. We're not doing that. We're just not doing that. That is insanity. I don't care. You can fight with the wall if you don't think he deserves MVP. If you don't think he's the greatest player in the world, fight with the wall. You look stupid. You look a mess, because what we're watching with Nikola Jokic is nothing short of greatness. That's it. I think Nikola Jokic is a GOAT in his own way. Why? He's brilliantly minded. He has the highest IQ in basketball. And if you're still fighting me on that, I don't know what to tell you. You're not watching Nikola Jokic play basketball nearly enough. You're just not. So what we are seeing with Nikola Jokic is nothing short of greatness. But what we're seeing with this Denver Nuggets team right now, this time of the year, ahead of the All-Star break, where I believe a lot of teams really start to put their foot on the gas following the All-Star break. We've actually had Jamal Murray in a post-game presser say that himself. It's a long season, right? They always talk about how long of a season it is and the fact that after the All-Star break, that's really where the wheels start turning. Well, we're watching this Denver Nuggets team play with a championship mindset right now. Right now, they're doing that. And that is making me really happy, because they're building good habits. So much so that by the end of this season, they will have a defensive identity established. They will have confidence from Payton Watson and CB and Julian Strawther from the three-point line. They will have a healthier body, hopefully, for Aaron Gordon. They'll have even more chemistry between Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook, which I'm not even sure if that's possible, but it is. And then you've got a Michael Porter Jr. who has stayed relatively consistent for this Nuggets team. Last game, I believe he had 22 points, maybe 19. It was around there. Again tonight, 20 points, 8 rebounds. Last show, I mentioned that this was the best passing team in the NBA. I stand by that. 17 assists for Nikola Jokic alone. 3 from Westbrook. That's kind of on the lower end for him, actually. 5 from Jamal Murray, 1 from CB, 1 from Payton Watson, 2 from Strawther, 1 from Aaron Gordon. I talked earlier today on Off Court about how this Nuggets team doesn't have to live and die by the three. Do I want to see this continued trend of threes by Michael Porter Jr., 2 of 8 from the three-point line? That's actually kind of on the lower end as well, percentage-wise for him. I think he had 50% last game. You've got 2 of 5 from CB. We know threes were a struggle for CB last season. He was working on it in the preseason. He's finding some rhythm and some groove there, which is really exciting. 2 of 3 for Nikola Jokic, 1 of 6 for Jamal. Jamal did not have the best night, if you will. I actually felt like there were a couple moments in there where he started to play a little lackadaisical in that third quarter, and I was like, oh, this Kings team, I'm not sure if you guys know, they've been beating some pretty great teams. Up until tonight, they were on a 10-1 run in their last 11, beating teams like the Boston Celtics, the Houston Rockets, just to name a few. They are not a team to be underestimated. They have a very high-power offense. They have been clicking and finding their momentum right now. So playing that lackadaisical style in the third quarter against a team like this, not smart. Even if you're up by 20 points at halftime, it's not smart. You don't want to do it. We've got Payton Watson, 1 of 2 from the three-point line, 6, 6, and 1 for him. He had 1 steal, but he had 4 blocks. Payton Watson with some defensive upside, showing that there is some defensive light for this Nuggets team, some aggression there. Julian Strawther, a little bit of a cooler night for him compared to the other night, 9, 0, and 2. He was 2 of 6 from the three-point line. He's still taking the shots. Aaron Gordon only played 16 minutes in this game. He only had 3 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, but we know the impact that Aaron Gordon has. We know how valuable he can be. Maybe we saw less minutes from him just in that kind of rehabbing of his calf. We know he had a really, really great game last game. We also know that Coach Malone spoke very highly of Aaron Gordon and his leadership on this team and his ability to take a back seat to this team and play off the bench if it means that the team is continuing to win. But we also know the impact that he has for this Nuggets team. So either way, you play him as a bench guy, you play him as a starter, it really doesn't matter. You're going to get great things out of Aaron Gordon. But tonight, Nikola Jokic proving yet again why he is the best player in the world. And I just don't know how you fight it any longer. I do want to talk a little bit about, also got to give some serious praise to Christian Braun, man. I mean, 21 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 block, 0 turnovers for CB. CB is playing exceptionally well. And that's what made the conversation that I was having a few weeks ago a very difficult one about what does it look like to start Russell Westbrook? Because to be honest with you, that seems to be the best option right now. You have to start Russell Westbrook. It really is no alternative here. What you're seeing, the proof is in the pudding here with Russell Westbrook as a starter. He is doing exceptional things. So you have to keep him there, in my opinion. And I wasn't quite ready to say, let's go ahead and not start Aaron Gordon, but we're seeing that that's actually working as well. CB at the time when I was having that conversation was the person that I was going to put on the bench to keep Russell Westbrook in the starting lineup. But again, that doesn't really seem smart right now. He is playing very, very great basketball. He's playing with aggression. He's playing with a lot of energy and a little Russell Westbrook-esque in a lot of ways. And I'm really liking what we're seeing from him. I think he's gotten stronger as the season has progressed. I think he also, you can't talk about CB and not mention the fact that he has won a championship on every level of basketball that he's played on. High school, college, NBA. We all make our March Madness brackets. It is very difficult to win a championship in college. It's a very competitive league. It's very tough to do. He's done it. He has that championship mentality. We saw in the post-game presser from the other night him talking about how motivated he gets by people talking poorly about him or being hard on him or being hard on his Nuggets. And it motivates him a lot. I think you have to have a guy like that on a team that just constantly keeps the energy up and is playing kind of do or die basketball no matter what. And that to me is how CB plays. And he's young and his body has remained relatively healthy. I'm knocking on wood. So you want to see it stay that way and you want to see him continue to get better every game. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Payton Watson, another player that comes to mind, that the more confident he gets, the more confident he plays, the better he plays, and the more potential I think he has to be super dangerous and super valuable to this team. Let's get some of the comments on the screen. Jokic was superhuman tonight. Yeah, he just is. There needs to be a Nikola Jokic case study to determine how this man became the way he is, because it does not seem like he's from this planet. He is a unicorn. He is unlike anything we've ever seen. And people hate so badly when I say that. Oh, so LeBron doesn't exist? My God, is it always about that man? It's actually not. Again, tonight I tweeted about the half-court, one-handed buzzer beater shot from Nikola Jokic that was so effortless and so seamless. The first response from the haters is, well, he doesn't play defense. Hi, please shut up. I didn't even talk about defense. I'm talking about a sick shot that if you would have watched, you probably would have tweeted too, but you were too busy being a hater and not just being a basketball fan. For God's sakes, he's good at basketball. Is that a flipping crime? Is it so hard to just give credit where it's due that he's a good basketball player? If I call Nikola Jokic a good basketball player, I'm not calling everybody else a shitty one. Do you understand that? Do I need to break it down? Or can you understand that when I am giving credit where it's due, I'm simply giving credit where it's due? He is a phenomenal basketball player. And the more you fight it, the stupider you're going to look. It's just the facts of the matter. It is just the facts of the matter. And I have noticed NBA analysts even are awfully quiet when Nikola Jokic has a great game. They don't have much to say. But when the Lakers are up on the Celtics, all of a sudden, that's what we want to discuss. We want to talk about the Lakers, which is a big deal. The Celtics are a big deal, of course, and the Lakers are finding some rhythm. All right, let's go. But we have a very hard time giving credit where it's due. Nobody likes seeing this Nuggets team play unstoppable basketball. Nobody likes to see it. Nobody, also, I don't want to say nobody, the ones in the chats totally get it. There's also a lot of people that don't like seeing Russell Westbrook on a team that knows how to use him, that is utilizing him exactly how he should be utilized. They don't like it. They just don't like it. And I think that's fine. And you know what? I actually would encourage people to keep being mad about how good this Nuggets team is playing basketball, because guess what? They play better. They play better when you run your mouth. They play better when you underestimate them. When you villainize this team, oh, baby, they see red. They absolutely see red. What we're watching, this Nuggets offense's ability to create scoring opportunities is unreal. It's unreal. We talked a little bit about teams that live and die by the three. Fine. If that's the game you want to play it. I'm not mad at you for it. I love a good three. I love it. I love when MPJ's hitting threes. I love it when Aaron Gordon's a perfect 3 of 3 from the 3-point line. Give me that. I love a full court, one-handed buzzer beater shot by Nikola Jokic. Give me that all day long. I love it. But the problem with living and dying by the three is when you die by it, you're dead. You get me? That was kind of poetic. Low key. When you live and die by the three and you die, you're dead. You get it? Yeah. So that's good stuff. We're going to need that on a t-shirt, Guerrilla Sports. Got it. Okay, cool. So when you live and die by the three, I'm going to be for real. No more bars. I'm not at slam poetry anymore. When you live and die by the three, it's a game that can be very beneficial to you until it's not. So I really like watching this Nuggets team play right now. Remove me as a fan. I like watching this Nuggets team play right now because can they live and die by the three? I think if they ran that type of offense, they probably could, but they're not succumbing to the way the game is changing right now. Every team is living and dying by the 3-point line, and that works until it doesn't. This team, the best passing team in the NBA, aka the Denver Nuggets, if you didn't like hearing me say that, well, you don't like facts, and that's fine. We do opinions on this show, so stick around for 5 more minutes. I'll do some opinions, but for now, I'm going to do some facts, and the facts are the Denver Nuggets are the best passing team in the NBA between Jamal Murray, Russell Westbrook, and Nikola Jokic. Yep, it's a fact, not an opinion. Okay, so the way that Nikola Jokic, because of his genius mastermind brain, next level, GOAT status brain. Oops, I used the word GOAT. It's the truth. His intelligence in the game, his ability to read the floor creates opportunities that defenses don't even know what to look for. How do you look for this? You don't. You're screwed. That's just how it goes. So what I really love about this Nuggets team is they're not succumbing to the live and die by the three method. Although I would love to see some more threes. I'm always with that. Let's keep it going, especially in the second unit. Julian Strother, keep taking the shot because when you do it, your lights out. When you find that groove, when you get that Jamal Murray hot moment, it's good. We love it. And we need that for sure. But their ability to create scoring opportunities that defenses don't know how to read, because defenses right now are prioritizing the perimeter defense, which is fine. That's totally fair. It's something I would love to see the Nuggets work on. Although I felt pretty good about where they were in this game. I think they only, around 50 points at halftime for this Kings team, which is wildly impressive compared to where we've seen this defense play earlier in the season for the Nuggets. So I would say their ability to create scoring opportunities that aren't the 3-point line, I really admire because I do think that's going to be their weapon this season. I really, really do. Their ability to pass, being the best passing team in the NBA, creating those scoring opportunities that defenses aren't prepared for right now. Defenses are prioritizing the perimeter, which is great. But guess what? When you're up against the Denver Nuggets, Jokic knows that because he's 10 steps ahead at all flipping times. He understands that you're going to be prioritizing the perimeter. So he's creating scoring opportunities on the inside with Russell Westbrook and getting AG involved and getting CB involved. And it's working in a very poetic way right now. Do I want to see some more improvement defensively from this Nuggets team? Yes, of course. I want the defense to continue to keep getting better because by the end of the season, we're trying to win a championship, baby. Let's get to it. Let's hear from head coach Malone. We do have his post-game presser. Yeah, we work quick around here at Guerrilla Sports. We've got head coach Malone's post-game presser following this a little too close at the end there. We'll get to that. Win by the Denver Nuggets, but let's check out what Coach Malone has to say about that crazy game and probably Nikola Jokic being the best player in the world. Let's check it out.
No, you guys tell me.
All right, Nikola Jokic, nobody's ever done that. Nobody's had 30-plus points, 22-plus rebounds, 17-plus assists, dominated the game in every kind of facet. Do you have any thoughts on this particular performance of him, including whatever that shot was?
Historical. If no one's ever done it, to your point, I'm just going to say historical. And he continues to put up stat lines that, no one ever. I think he was 1 assist shy of a triple-double in the first 3 quarters. So his impact on the game, and the most important part of it is we're 12-3 in the last 15. Like, these numbers are translating to wins. These are not empty stats. These are not hollow numbers. And you add the 2 blocks, and the guy's averaging almost 2 steals a game. So, you know, you think about his 10 years here, you think about the 3 MVPs, you think about the championship, the finals MVP, and this is the best season he's ever had. And that's saying a lot. So just continued greatness. And what you love about that, Matt, is that it shows that he's never satisfied. He's hungry, he's determined, he wants to be better, and he's going to do whatever he has to do to help this team win. So just another historical performance by a great player.
Defense in the second half probably wasn't where you would like it to be, but what did you say about your team that you're still able to withstand their run, withstand their pushing, and come up with the win?
Yeah, I mean, you know they're going to make a run at some point. I mean, that's why he asks that stupid-ass question all the time about people being in the fourth quarter. And tonight's a perfect example why. They did the same thing in sack. You know, we got a big on them, and they just ran the ball down our throats. They brought in Doug McDermott, and obviously he had 5 threes and seemed like bang, bang, quick succession. But we did stay with it, and we got to win. And we are 12-3 in our last 15 games. And not every win's going to be where you don't have to put Nikola back in the fourth quarter. We had to tonight. They jumped out 11-0 in the fourth. They made it a game, and our guys responded well enough to get the win. I don't know if it was that, to be honest, because we've done a great job of that of late. You know, if Nikola hasn't played in 4 straight fourth quarters going into tonight, that's because that group to start the fourth has handled their business and had a very mature approach. So we didn't get off to a good start in the fourth, obviously, but I don't necessarily think, Vinny, that it was because our guys just went out there to chill. You have to give them some credit. That team has been playing at a very high level, and they showed that in the fourth quarter. And thankfully we were able to withstand that run. And but to Katie's earlier point, to give up 71 points on 48% from the field and 12 made threes in the second half, that's not where you want it. But I love to clean things up after a win.
Michael, Aaron Gordon played all in the second quarter. He left the court and was frustrated after the first. What was going on with him?
I was told that he had to use the men's room, to be honest. I had his name on the board to start the second quarter, and then Dan Sheminsky, our trainer, said AG went back to the locker room. So wasn't sure what was going on there. Obviously played him his normal minutes in the second half. And that's all I can say on that right now.
I think the last time Trail was 1917 Gordon checked in, and almost immediately he drove the ball and ripped it, moved around the perimeter. Talk a little bit about the energy.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's obviously he still has a minute restriction, which I'm sure is frustrating for him. Because if you're a competitor, you want to be out there and be able to play as many minutes as you're able to. But since Aaron's come back now, I think it's 6 games since he's returned. We played at a really high level, and he gives that second unit kids that we can play through, facilitate. He can guard. He wanted to guard DeRozan tonight, so you love that. He's asking to guard one of their best players. So you love that, to have that luxury of Aaron Gordon coming off the bench for us right now, and how he's embracing that role.
You guys are shooting 76% from the free throw line, which is statistically a little lower, one lower on here. You're second in attempts. What's kind of the ideal number if you want to be percentage-wise, or if the attempts are so high that 75 or better?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously we missed 10 tonight, and I think in our last 14 games, we actually have been shooting it much better from the foul line. So our free throw percentage on the season, I think it's around 25, but the last 15 or so games, it's been much improved. And tonight obviously wasn't the case, but if you're getting there 31 times, if you can go 25 or 31, that's a great number. But as you mentioned, the fact that we're getting there a ton shows that we're being aggressive. 18 more fast break points in transition. I think we lead the league in that stat still. 68 in the paint, we lead the league in that stat. 30 assists, we lead the league in that stat. So I think you guys know our DNA. That's how we're made. That's how we're wired. That's how we play. And it correlates to winning at a high percentage.
Coach, the shot, the distance on the shot. You've seen a lot of basketball. Is that one of the longest shots you've seen?
I didn't even see the shot. I was pissed off the defensive player before it. I didn't even see it. I just heard the crowd go crazy, and I really didn't give a shit. because I was just mad about our defense. So I'll have to go back and watch it. It sounds like a three-quarter court shot? A little more? Yeah, 75. So where does that rank in terms of, like,
It borders on top 10. We're all trying to figure that out right now. That's why I'm asking you.
borders? Yeah. I don't know. I've been around this game so long. I'm sure I've seen shots like that, but, you know, not surprising. You know, he's a guy that just has this uncanny ability. Remember the shot he tried? I think there's .2 on the clock. He tried a tip shot from 85 feet that almost went in. I mean, so the guy is just, he's on a whole different wavelength. Kids, what do you got for me, man? Come on, man. I mean, you only come once a month, so bring it. Ever since you got paid, man, I don't see you anymore. What's that? Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you know, guys shoot crazy shots after practice. They have to shoot around. Obviously, you know, we have our specialist half-court shot maker in Vlatko, who's out right now. But, you know, we bring him in for special situations. But, yeah, Nikola's the touch that he has. That's what it comes down to. Like, to make that shot, even just to hit the rim. How many guys couldn't even hit the rim on that shot? For him to make it just speaks to his talent, his touch, and his skill level. So just happy that we won. We're getting on the road now for 5 games, business trip. I think 11 games to go before the All-Star break, and hopefully we can find a way to continue to play at a high level. Thanks, everybody.
Gorilla Sports coming in clutch with the post-game presser clips. We should have Russell Westbrook in there, maybe Payton Watson. We've got a few clips we're going to share with you guys. I want to talk a little bit about Nikola Jokic, as if I didn't already spend the first 10 minutes of the show doing that. I always find it very interesting when we're talking about Nikola Jokic's greatness, and the first thing people want to talk about is the fact that he doesn't play defense. Okay, so taking isolated clips of bad defense that doesn't pass your eye test, if that's how you want to play it, play your game. I will not be a part of the sport you play because I think you're a weirdo, but I will allow you to play your game, okay? However, it's very ironic to me how quickly people shift from being stat guys to just wanting to watch with the eye test. Eye test wise, does Nikola Jokic play great defense? Maybe not to you, but I will tell you, 4th in steals per game, 4th in defensive rebounds per game, 4th in deflections per game. Does that sound like a bad defensive player? Oh, it gets better. For his entire career, the Nuggets are plus 7.4 points per 100 possessions with Jokic on the floor and minus 5.1 when he's off. Since the start of 2021-2022, that swing is plus 11.1 to minus 8.7. I think we can all agree offense, to me, a little more impressive than defense, especially the way the game is evolving. It's harder to play defense now. It really is. When teams are living and dying by the 3, do you think defensive players are passing the eye test? They're probably not. But to be 4th in steals per game, 4th in defensive rebounds per game, and 4th in deflections per game, sorry, it just doesn't sound like a bad defensive player to me. It just doesn't. If it does to you, I think you're just a hater. You're just trying to deny Nikola Jokic of what he is, which is the best player in the world. I am strongly encouraging you to stop being a hater, because I'm in your corner here. I don't want you to keep looking foolish. I really don't. I'm trying to help you out. It does you no good to continue to deny Nikola Jokic of what he is. It does you no good to say Nikola Jokic doesn't deserve MVP. Can you say it's going to be a tight race because SGA is also playing at a high level? Sure you can. But can you say he doesn't deserve it? Probably not. He's won 3 already, and this season is his best season. Statistically, for the numbers guys out there, this is his best season. He continues to get better and better and better. And yet there are still people that don't want to give the credit where it's due. They don't want to give the credit where it's due. Honestly, oh, be quiet, old orange lady. I'm 27. Not orange. I am mixed though. So maybe I have shades of orange going on. But I always love popping a hater up on the screen because they just look like idiots and I just find it to be fun. That being said, let's tune into something that's also very fun. and that is the addition of Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook was maybe the greatest thing that could have happened to this Denver Nuggets team this season. You're seeing it. I'm seeing it. I also called it. I knew this would happen. I have been a Russell Westbrook fan for quite some time, but I also saw the holes in this Nuggets team and knew that Russell Westbrook could fill those. But we do have Russell Westbrook's post-game presser clip following tonight's game. Let's hear what he's got to say because we know he's made an insanely great impact on this Nuggets team. I'm eager to hear from him. Let's check it out. Russell Westbrook following tonight's win over a very talented, who's kind of been on a heater, Sacramento Kings team. Let's check it out.
I think it was Steven Adams, like back a few years ago, that hit a three-quarter shot by just chucking it in the football. Did that remind you of that at all? Just have you ever seen anything like that other than those couple of times?
No. But Jokic come close a couple of times this year. So when the left his hands a lot, I had a chance. And then, boom. The best part of it is no reaction from him, which I love.
So the person that inbounds, does he get the assist?
I think it was a missed shot. I don't know. Is it a made shot?
AG inbounded.
Yeah, hell yeah, he get assist. Make sure they put it up there. Let me see. Yep, AG, 1 assist.
Russ, the other night, Nikola told Shaq that he feels like you remain misunderstood in some other places and that you always know exactly where to get him the ball and those type of things. I'm not asking about those other places, but I'm asking about here. What is it about Joker and this team? How do they understand the way you want to play that's helping you?
One, I'm grateful for them wanting me to come here, and then second, getting here and allowing me to be able to be who I've been my entire career. So I'm grateful for that. Nikola's been a huge advocate for that, for the betterment of the team, and I'm grateful. Like I've said before, to share the court, with the best player in the world, and I don't take the opportunity for granted.
Russ, you talked about how you play every game the same, no matter the opponent, game 1, game 2, but where does the stretch of basketball you playing now, where does that rank you in terms of joy, most fun you've had playing in 17 years?
Oh shit, man! Honestly, I have fun every time I step on the floor. To be honest, I like to smile. I like to engage with the fans. I love to just play the game. God has put me in this position to be able to do that, and I want to be able to bring joy to other people as they watch. And I think we're in a good space as a team. We're playing proper basketball and doing the right thing. So.
Why do you and Joker click so well?
Man, he makes it easy for me, and I try to do my best, make a game easy for him. Find him when he's open. And to me, my job is easy. Like if I'm on the court and the best player's on the floor, find a way to give him the ball, and that's what I do. Any chance I get any opportunity I get a chance to.
That late one where you're almost in the layup motion, pass it back, and you've got great hands, obviously, which helps. Does that kind of change your mindset and decision making, right, on those drives about how late you can pass it?
Yeah, definitely. He knows. Sometimes, like I said, we don't even talk about it. He just knows that sometimes when I come to the play, his man jump up, I may lay drop it off, or I may lay it up. That's the advantage that we do have because I have opportunity to be able to finish. But he's also obviously one of the best finishers in the game, so make the right read.
Russ, you're one of the only players in the history that knows what it's like to achieve numbers.
Yeah. Yep.
Tonight was very special, but night in, night out, that type of production. What does it take, mentality-wise, to come back and continue to do that and strive for a level that you really haven't seen since built?
Yeah, man, it's amazing. You have to be able to put your mind, your body in a space where only you can get to. And I think Nikola is in that space, and whatever he's doing, I hope he stays in it. And I'm just grateful to be able to share the floor with him.
That Sacramento team, they've been playing some really good basketball.
Yeah.
Just what did it take for you guys to get out to the lead initially that you did, just pushing the tempo?
Just playing the right way. I thought we had some mishaps in the fourth, just got last days ago, but they've been playing hard, good team. A lot of their wins, they've been coming back, and they did that last night. But I thought we did a good job of executing down the stretch. Got stops when we needed to, and closed out with the win.
What did you learn from the beginning of the season until now, just playing with Nikola?
A lot. I pay attention, as the season goes on, understanding his position and his disposition, understanding what he like, what he doesn't like. And that's as a part of leadership. It's part of my job to be able to know that and watch and learn. And I learn a lot just from watching him as well. I try to pick up things from him, his game, posting, different things that I see that would allow me to be more efficient, as I continue to play this game.
Just one more. You guys are going on a couple game road trip here. You've been on all these long road trips when you were in LA for those round trips. What does it take to be consistent and go through one of those road trips and make sure you stay together as a team?
Yeah, one game at a time. Don't look too far ahead. And I think that's the most important part. We'll have some time to be able to hang with each other, bond. But also, when you go on the road, it's the best part to be together. When adversity hits on the road or during the game, it's going to be a test for us to be able to stick with each other, play the right way, and I think we're in a good position to be able to do that. Lastly, before I get up out of here, my daughters would be upset if I didn't acknowledge them. So yesterday I went home. They wanted me to make sure I played the game with my they did a great job on my nails. So girls, good job. We won, so good luck. Love you.
How do you hate that man? I don't get it. I actually was waiting for the chat. I have a pretty respectful chat for the most part, besides a few couple people in here that like to call me old and orange. I'm not sure where that comes from. I'm actually feeling quite pale these days, but that doesn't really matter. Besides the people that call me old and orange, or say I could like fly away with my eyelashes, which that's a good one. We have a pretty respectful chat here, but I was waiting for someone to be like, what's with his nails? I think it's awesome. And actually, I was just having a conversation the other day about Russell's style and how he definitely, and like as a female, I can very much respect this. And if you're a male out there and you appreciate fashion and you know your clothes, I can always tell the people that don't like understand fashion and or have an appreciation for it. It's very, very obvious, but I can appreciate fashion, and he embodies like you can't wear you can't let the outfit wear you. You have to wear the outfit. This man wears things that I'm like, okay, on any other person, I would be like, what in the world? But he just wears it so well and so confidently that you can't even be mad at him for it. I seriously love Russell Westbrook. It is so cool to be at this stage of my life where I'm covering this team. I've been a Nuggets fan for a very, very long time, my whole life, 27 years. I've been a fan of the Denver Nuggets. And to be able to say that Russell Westbrook is a Denver Nugget is a really, really special feeling, because anybody that truly knows the sport of basketball, has watched the NBA for years and years and years, knows how special he is as a player. And his connection right now and his abilities in conjunction with Nikola Jokic are even more special and fun to watch. I want to get to Cedric's super chat here. I will always prioritize super chats. So Cedric, thank you so much for bringing it to my attention. If I don't put comments up on the screen ever, as long as they're appropriate, I will always, by the end of the show, make sure that I get to a super chat. Jokic game to remember. Liv, will AG be okay? Okay. I watched this whole game, and I don't know what happened to AG. I could obviously tell he played a lot less, but I kind of just assumed like he's still on that minutes restriction. He had such a great game last game. They were very comfortably in the lead, obviously, in the third quarter, and in the fourth quarter, they were kind of doing that F around, find out thing, which was making me a little bit nervous. As per usual, being a Denver Nuggets fan, they typically do that. That's kind of their style of play. They're either really hot in the first half or they're really hot in the third quarter. That's literally, it feels like those are the only two options. So I don't know if anything happened to Aaron Gordon. I have no idea. I don't know if it's just wear and tear on his body or he's playing it safe. Somebody in the chat said that he kicked a chair. Coach Malone said that he went to the bathroom. He was going to play him in the second half, and he went to the bathroom. Maybe he's sick. I don't know. I really have no idea. But I'm looking at. Oh, see, somebody. Okay, this is a better that's saying he faked an injury and after not playing good, blah blah blah. Sit Aaron Gordon the whole second half, blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know if anything truly happened. I'm really praying that nothing did. I feel like we would know that by now. I feel like there would have been some sort of indication that he was re-injured or there was something wrong. Maybe he was just frustrated with his poor performance. I mean, he was, I believe, 1 of 7, if I'm not mistaken, and he didn't play a ton of minutes. And after such a heater the other night, I can understand being frustrated by that. Yeah, 1 of 8 and 1 of 3 from the 3-point line. So it wasn't his best game. Maybe that's what he was just feeling frustrated about, and that's hence why we saw him kick the chair or whatever. I'm not sure, but I actually don't have any insight into whether or not Aaron Gordon is injured or not injured, or if there's frustrations there, or if he just had a bad game and he was frustrated with himself and he knows his body's still kind of in recovery mode and he doesn't want to push it too hard. Maybe that's what it is, but we can maybe get a little bit of clarity on that. We did have some Guerrilla Sports eyes right in Ball Arena for us, giving us an inside look into the post-game presser room, feeding us some clips. We do have Brandon Cristal. You guys know Brandon Cristal, BK, my very good friend BK, live from Ball Arena right now. Be patient with his Wi-Fi. If his Wi-Fi is a little weird, hopefully we'll still be able to hear him okay. But BK, my first question for you, we've got the chat very, very curious right now about Aaron Gordon. He was 1 of 8 from the field, 1 of 3 from the 3-point line. We know he had a really great game the other night coming off of the bench. People are maybe worried in the chat that he might be injured or something's going on. Were you able to tell any of that from being there?
No, we really weren't, Liv. And Michael Malone was asked about it post-game. I don't know if you've played coach's comments yet or not,
Yes.
but he said that when he left the bench, right, he was about to get subbed back in, and that was in the first half. Obviously, he played some in the second half, but he had to run to the restroom. So that happens, right? We all, nature calls. We understand that.
Right, yeah.
And so when we were in the locker room, and to kind of take you through the timing of stuff, the media room where they do press conferences is about 20-foot walk from the locker room. But when coach talks, the locker room then opens. You go in and you see Russell Westbrook fully clothed. He's coming in. The one thing we know, whether we like it or not, Nikola Jokic usually takes about an hour and 10 minutes. So we've got some time. That's how I can come up here and talk to you. But so we didn't even really get to get anything in the locker room. And I think I might have glanced at AG, but I can't swear. We then talked to Russ for about 6-7 minutes. So call it a 10-minute gap, give or take 10, 12 minutes. We get back, talk to Payton Watson. MPJ shows up, and then he heads off to the showers, and we kind of close out the locker room. No other media was there, and AG still wasn't even at his locker. As I mentioned to you today on off court that he was just sitting there the other day, and he's a guy that kind of hangs around. So I don't know if he was getting extra treatment, and is his calf bothering him a little bit? And the one thing I know about calf injuries, and I don't want to compare myself to Aaron Gordon where he is right now but I mean, he is 29, 30 years old, so he's not 21. But calf injuries linger. Calves and hamstrings linger. And look, our pal Blake, who owns our company, started our company. He and I played softball and basketball together forever. And I had to wear a calf sleeve from the time I turned 30. I give Vic Lombardi both credit and blame because I asked him when his body started breaking down on him. He said that when he turned 30, stuff started to go weird. And when I turned 30, I pulled my calf, and it's been pulled for 16 years now. And so they just linger, and you'll feel good. Injury. And then the littlest thing, especially when you talk about playing in the NBA at the highest level, the way he plays too, he's Joker, it feels like, could get by with a calf strain more easily than Aaron Gordon. And I understand Aaron Gordon maybe doesn't play the way Russ or a Payton Watson or Christian Braun might play, but he still is attacking the glass. He's above the rim. That dunk on the over the head assist the other night for Joker to get his 10th assist. So when you're not right and it's been lingering all year and you're missing more basketball, and as he told us, basketball is his refuge right now. It's his happy place. To have it limited in any way has to be frustrating.
Absolutely. And I think there's some of this where we've already heard Coach Malone give praise to Aaron Gordon for his ability to be a selfless basketball player and think about the team and remove his ego and do what's best for the team. So I don't think any of his frustrations, although that's where Twitter wants to take it, is that he wasn't starting. I think it's more, maybe he does have a little bit of that calf still bugging him, or maybe he's just competitive and is frustrated by his 1-8 performance tonight. That's also a reasonable, that could be part of it. So want to ask you about a very special moment before I ask you about a non-Nuggets related question here, or more than that, a comment, and get your feedback. But how cool was that Jokic shot in person? I know how I felt from my couch, BK. Goosebumps, jaw on the floor, kind of speechless, had to rewind and watch it about 6 different times. What was it like being in Ball Arena in that moment?
It was both unbelievable and totally believable. And you'll see when we get our Payton Watson post-game sound, Payton's like, look, no cap, but I knew it was going in. He felt he knew it was going in.
You know what no cap meant, BK?
I did.
Okay,
I've got an 18-year-old at home. And so either way, for him to take that, we've seen him shoot that shot. I think even last game, he threw up one of those at the end of the second or third quarter, and it almost, it hit the backboard or whatever. I always go back to Shane Battier, who's one of the smarter basketball players and smarter, people you'll come across, Duke grad. Shane Battier used to pride himself in waiting for the horn and then letting it fly just to get the crowd into it, knowing the percentage of anything behind half court was so ridiculous anyway. So you let the horn sound, you throw it up there, you might get a cheer, it gets waved off. But Joker's trying to make it, and Coach Malone was asked about him trying to tip 185 feet, or push 185 feet with 0.2 of a second. He's different than anything we've ever seen. And I was really hoping, as we were looking at his numbers in the fourth quarter, and he's over 20 points, and obviously he gets, all the way up to 35, but he's at 22 points, 22 boards, and 17 assists. I'm like, God, I'd love to see a 20 and 20 game, because I know we've never seen one of those. And it feels like we may with Nikola. It may not be this year, but at some point he's unbelievable. And you heard Michael Malone say that it's historical, because he really is doing stuff that no one's ever done. Now to have 5 straight triple doubles, and be able to win these games pretty easily. It's been really fun to witness. And you and I talk about this a lot. We hope that Nuggets fans aren't taking it for granted, and we hope that he wants to play 10 more years, not 3 more years.
Yeah, absolutely. One more thing before I let you go, so that you can go finish getting.
Wait for Joker for another 20 minutes?
Right. I would say hurry back down there, but you could probably crawl and you'd still make it in enough time. But I do want to bring something up to you. We talked about how the game is evolving, how living and dying by the 3 works until it doesn't. The Boston Celtics on the road taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. It is currently 105-82 with about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the Lakers are up on the Celtics. I think we're seeing with this Celtics team, living and dying by the 3 doesn't always work for you. Do you think it will be an advantage for this Denver Nuggets team, their playmaking ability, and the fact that they're not living and dying by the 3 like everybody else?
100%. And, we talked about the free throws today, and, as you brought up that number, and Michael Malone gave me some updated numbers, because we were looking at season totals. You and I didn't have the game by game breakdown of last 15 games, where they are shooting better, tonight being the exception. Tonight they missed 10. They shot 67%, but that's what made me want to ask the question. And I said, hey, you guys are ranked towards the bottom, because I didn't want to give a number or whatever. But I also realized, as we were looking at that, like 76 to 81 or 82, whatever the top is, but there's a bunch of teams that are 76, 77, 78. So it's almost the same. But, I pointed out, and after he bagged on me for always asking about taking guys out in the fourth quarter, because I'm sure you heard that, where he's like, and those dumbass questions or stupid ass question about sitting guys in the fourth quarter, he at least came back and he's like, as you pointed out, us getting to the line. So he wants to make 25 out of 31. So whatever that math is, which is probably about 76 to 77%. Yeah. So he's okay with that number. But so I'm saying all that to say they are getting to the line. They are attacking. And because they play such an efficient brand of basketball, that even tonight, where they're only shooting 35%, which is below their 3-point average by about 4%, they still made 13. I feel like 13 is that magic number, and we should track that. How many games they win and lose where they've made 13 threes? And I don't have the data there, and we can go back and look, but it feels like every time we look down, or every time I look down at the box score and there's 13 threes, great, but that's not 18 threes and taking 49 or whatever the Celtics will end up taking tonight. And I could pull up that box score real quickly. But so it will absolutely benefit them. To your point,
I
to
agree.
borrow a line from Michael Malone, always says to your point. But yeah, they will be suited for the playoffs because we know defense just gets better. But when you're running really good offense that isn't reliant on just knocking down threes, everyone's effort's going to be ratcheted up on both sides of the ball. But because they run such good offense and Joker and Russ play so well together, it was funny though because we talked about it today. And I don't know, have you played Russ's postgame yet?
We have. Yep.
Okay, and I asked him about the question about joy, and he was a little dismissive in that he's like, I love everything and I want to make everybody better, happy, but it's easy to tell. And he's like, winning is fun. In an honest moment, this has to be some of the most fun he's ever had on a basketball court.
Oh,
and so
he's radiating with joy.
As he and Joker continue to get more comfortable with each other, and everyone gets comfortable with Russ and how he fits into this equation, it's just going to bode well for them. You knock on wood that they're healthy. You want everybody to be healthy in the playoffs. You don't want to, you and I aren't wired to cheer for injuries or whatever that may be, hope that the other team's best player has a sprained ankle. That's not us. You want to go out there and play your best with your healthy guys and beat the best, but be 100% because you know how it is on the other side. You're like, oh, we're missing so-and-so. And it's just not always going to end up the same. But they are playing really good basketball. They've won 12 of 15, and now they're going to go and play 5 winnable road games. I understand talking to people with the team, it's going to be cold in every city, but I mean, it is Chicago, Minnesota, New York in January, places like that are going to be cold.
Denver, so they felt cold before,
Yeah, they felt cold before, but and maybe that means they stay in the hotel, and we know Chicago and New York, both you can find places to spend your night and stay out a little later
and rest.
But you get room service and rest. And Sunday there's they'll play the T-Wolves Saturday night, and then Sunday they can watch football in the big team room where they do the meetings, and everybody can just chill there because it's going to be frigid in Chicago, and then be ready to beat the Bulls on Monday.
Fingers crossed, BK. You and I will continue to have the Nuggets coverage for all of the Guerrilla Sports family members that we have now accumulated. Want to give a shout out to
my man Cody. I got to shout out Cody. He said hi to us the other day at lunch. Jesse and Blake and I were at lunch near the office, and he came by and said, "Hey, Guerrilla Sports, BK, I love your basketball coverage. You guys do a great job." So
love it.
Shout out to Cody.
We will continue that all season long, BK. You and I will keep it covered even when they're on the road. We obviously, things are a little different when they travel, and we're hoping that they can maintain that same record and the same momentum. It's always a little bit more fun when they're playing at home, of course, but we will keep everybody covered as they take the road for this 5-game road stretch here. BK, any final thoughts before we let you go and crawl back to Nikola Jokic to keep waiting?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take the elevator down, but I probably could walk and I'd be fine.
There you go.
There are, and I might as well show everybody, there are some adult pickup. It's not pickup, it's like a league, but those are, 30 and 40 somethings playing right now. So they're having fun playing on the ball arena hardwood. No, it's just that you hope that they stay healthy. I guess the one thing we didn't talk about, and we'll ask Joker about, but he is yet again voted another all-star starter, is that not only is the league recognized, but fans recognize his greatness. And the way Shaq talks about him, the way Charles Barkley talks about him, and Kenny Smith and his peers, the way, you go back to 2 years ago on that championship run, the way Kevin Durant and LeBron James talked about him after they had just gotten their ass kicked by him, lets you know that's that true game recognizes game. Yeah. And even though they want to beat him, they understand. They called him the best player in the world, and that was 2 years ago when he wasn't the MVP. Joel Embiid was. Well, now he's picked up another MVP, and he is playing at an MVP level. A lot of people understand. I think even Charles Barkley might have said tonight, Joker's the best player in the world, but SGA is going to win the MVP. It's because of that voter fatigue. But if they could somehow catch OKC, it's the difference between the voters.
I don't
and
know how you argue with that. If the Nuggets end up with the 1 seed over OKC, I don't know how you argue it.
And I think the voters are smart enough to understand the rarity,
I sure hope so.
What we're seeing from Joker, and that he is worthy of getting a 4th MVP in 5 years, which I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Should have been 5th, but I digress. We'll talk about that on Monday for off court between you and I. But BK, thank you so much for joining. Go grab us that Jokic stuff. I'm not sure if we're going to play that tonight, but we will definitely have it. It will be all over Guerrilla Sports social pages as well as our YouTube. BK, thanks for hanging with me, and we'll catch you very, very soon.
Thanks, Liv. I appreciate it.
See ya, BK. All right, you guys. I mean, it's always great to have, like I said, we've got Guerrilla Sports people everywhere, keeping you guys covered on all things Denver Nuggets. I believe, and let me just double check here. We should have Payton Watson's clip coming in here pretty soon. And it sounds, yep, we do have Payton Watson's. And so I'm going to let our producers know that we want to run that, hear from what P. Watt has to say. You guys know I am a very, very large Payton Watson fan. If this show could turn into a Payton Watson fan account, it probably would. I love the defensive upside that he's got. I love his hustle. I love his energy. There was a moment in the game that I had to stop and look at the screen, and Russ had called Payton Watson over and he ran right over there, and you could tell Russ was kind of giving him a perspective that maybe Payton Watson couldn't see. And so I just love the camaraderie of this team right now. It feels like they're just not only firing off on all cylinders, but clicking as well. And that is so, so, so important. I talk a lot about the fact that there is so much talent in the NBA. It is a star-driven league. Every roster is talented. Every roster has three-point shooters. Every roster has tall guys with long arms that can block shots. But I think the culture is what really sets apart the champions from everybody else. And right now, the culture that this Nuggets team is building is so, so important. And I think it's going to benefit them a lot in the long run towards the end of the season, as well as in the playoffs. We really, really hope. But let's hear from one of the young guys on this team that does have a really good relationship with Russell Westbrook. He does have a lot of defensive upside. He's had some really great games. He filled in for Aaron Gordon earlier this season when Aaron Gordon had his injury. He's building his confidence. He's playing better basketball. And I've really, really loved watching him play. Let's hear from the one, the only Payton Watson in his post-game presser following this Kings Nuggets win for the Denver Nuggets.
I mean, it's amazing, especially, having such a big role placed upon me being a defensive anchor on this team and our ace defensively, getting the best matchups night in, night out, guarding the best players in the world. There's really no experience like it. So I'm just thankful to my teammates and my coaches for trusting me with the role, and I'm just taking it super seriously and trying to do as best as I can.
But you're a factor on offense too. You're showing your versatility, and it's making a difference in the win column.
Absolutely. I think, you ain't got to wait a year or an off season to get better and work on your game. I think that you can work on your game in real time, and that's what I've been doing all season. I've been the first one in the gym, last one out, coming back in late at night and just trying to perfect my craft as much as possible, because I feel like it just opens up the game more for myself and my teammates. So, getting a chance to contribute offensively and defensively for this team is, a dream come true for me.
Another DPOG chain for you tonight. Are you keeping track? Are you competing with anybody internally in this locker room?
I ain't keeping track. I ain't competing. I feel as though the DPOG is really nice. It's, it's good to have and it's rewarding. But for me, it's not even about that. It's about doing my part defensively. Some nights it's somebody else's night and some nights it's my night. But I'm glad that I've been winning a few, racking a few up. It's probably going to be me and Brody at the end of the season. So maybe I'll start a little friendly competition.
So, Payton, you talked about Wes and what he means to be a SoCal kid. I think DeMar DeRozan's probably pretty high on the list. What's it like to compete against him? I know you've done it before, but there's a couple SoCal guys you looked up to.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially being from Compton, right by Long Beach. He's one of the greats. One of the great stories that we hear coming up, especially when you're playing basketball and trying to get to the highest level. Him and Russ, their names ring a huge bell. So being able to match up against them, I've guarded him a few times in my career, and it's always surreal. So for him to be able to compete and kind of play at the same clip that he's always played at, it's a testament to how much he puts in, how much work he puts in, how much he cares about the game.
One more thing for me. You're on the front line with Jokic and 35, 22, and 17. I know you've seen it, but Coach said it's the best basketball he's ever seen from him. From your vantage point, what's it like?
I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, to be as precise as he is on a night-to-night basis and still be able to do special things as well, it just goes to show how disciplined he is. He does all the little things well, but he also can do the wild plays that make you just go crazy. So to be able to play with him is such a luxury, and it's definitely something that I never take for granted, especially me and him's bond off the court, him talking to me, trying to get me as ready as possible for meaningful basketball. So, I never take it for granted playing with him and playing for a winning franchise.
Walk me through what happened in your eyes when he launched from three-quarter court.
To be honest with you, I don't want to get on my LeBron stuff and people say I'm capping, but I knew that was going in all the way. He had 1.7 seconds or something, I think, to catch the ball and feel it in his hands. So as soon as I saw him let it go, I knew I had a good chance of going in. Well, for it to go right in, I mean, it's going to surprise you every time. You know, his greatness never gets old to watch. So, no cap, I knew it was going in.
Well, and you hit a three right before that, but when we asked Coach Malone about the play, he was disappointed in the defense that came right after your three. So he said he didn't even see the shot. He just heard the crowd.
I think I know exactly what happened on the play. So who was that got a wide open? It might have been De'Aaron Fox or Malik Monk, one of the two of them, but we just didn't play our best defense, and it was kind of a lackadaisical possession, especially we were supposed to foul. We had a foul to give, and we didn't give the foul. So I know he was high. You know, Malone, he's just going to turn his back and be like, let's get to the next quarter and chalk that one. But he missed a hell of a shot, man. Appreciate you.
I absolutely just love Payton Watson. You guys know this, but I think more than loving his play style, which it's very easy to love him, I feel like he was a mandatory guy for this Nuggets team. We know the Nuggets very much struggled defensively and they haven't been the best defensive team. I mean, in their 2023 championship run, yes, they were playing some really solid defense, and that was helping them coast through the Western Conference and do it again in the playoffs. However, I think Payton Watson at that time, still very young, not getting a ton of minutes. We're starting to see him really take full form here because he's playing more, and he's also got that confidence attached. But more than that, he has, and now I'm going to tell you this, I was at their what is it called? I don't even know what it's called. Their pre-game or preseason what media day? Is that what why am I blanking on that? Anyway, before the season started, we went in, we were talking to all the players and the coaches, and one of the things that the front office as well as Coach Malone said that they wanted to see better from Payton Watson was his mental maturity of all things. And I really do feel like we've seen a lot of maturity in that way. Do I think his relationship, his friendship with Russell Westbrook has been maybe part of that? Absolutely. But I also think, and I said this on many shows even last season, Payton Watson to me is the type of player where you're not going to get everything you can get out of him unless you believe in him and you let him play. You've got to keep him on the floor when he messes up, because guess what? He's going to miss a free throw. He's going to miss a wide open three from time to time, but he's going to hustle back down the floor and play insane defense. Hence the defensive player of the game chain. We have superstars on this team that don't hustle back and play defense. They're either complaining to the refs or kind of bebopping all the way back. Payton Watson is not that player. He plays with a level of aggression and a level of competitiveness every single game that we don't talk enough about. We're quick to talk about it with Russell Westbrook. We don't give Payton Watson the same flowers for the hustle that he is constantly playing with and the competitive drive he is constantly playing with. And he also has a level of maturity, not only when he speaks, but when he messes up in the middle of a game or when he's not playing or, when he gets subbed and he shouldn't. There's things about Payton Watson that I just think fly under the radar that are all really positive and really good things to have on your team and in your locker room. And for that, I think he deserves a lot of praise and a lot of credit. I am a huge Payton Watson fan. He signed a jersey from my mother for Christmas. I thought the woman was going to start crying. She loves watching him play. I know some of Payton Watson's family members. They are wonderful, magnificent people. I have nothing but good things to say about them. So you can just tell he's an all-around great guy. He's a great player. He brings something to this Nuggets team that would be very, very missed if he wasn't a part of this team. You lose players in every season and every offseason before trade deadlines. Changes are made. To me, Payton Watson right now is extremely crucial to the success of this team. He has very timely plays defensively. He hustles more than anybody out there. And for that, I think he deserves more credit than he's given. I really, really do. So I'm a big Payton Watson fan. I'm a big Denver Nuggets fan. You guys know this, but it also does not go without saying that when this Nuggets team is not doing what they need to do, I'm very honest about that. I am not the type of fan to just blow smoke up their butts. I have to see these players in the tunnel before they run out. I have to make eye contact with players sometimes that I give a really hard time to on this show. That is the part of my business. I always try to keep it as professional as possible. The only time I probably lack a little bit of professionalism is when I'm talking to internet trolls that piss me off. I mean, that's just about it. But really, at the end of the day, most of those people would not say what they say to my face. Funny story before we get out of here. I did have one person that had the courage enough. We're going to call it liquid courage because it was at a bar in Denver that came up to me and was like, "You're Liv Moods, right?" I was like, "Yeah, hi, nice to meet you." He's like, "Oh my gosh, I love following you. You've made me so much money fading your pics." I was like, huh, okay. I kind of respect it. Mad respect for trolling to my face and not with your Twitter fingers, but then immediately proceeded to say, "Can I buy you a drink?" And I was like, "Dude, you need to walk away. I think that's what you need to do." But I giggled about it. I moved on with my night. But I know full well most of the trolls that have a lot to say with no profile picture would not say the same thing to my face. So I'm all good with that. But like I said, I will hold my favorite teams to the highest of standards because I respect them. That's why I do that. I love and respect these players so much. As hard as I've been on Jamal Murray, I have nothing but respect for him, the game he plays, his athleticism, the work he puts in, nothing but respect. And I will always try to maintain that professionalism and that respect because they deserve it. And they are absolutely a phenomenal basketball team with a great culture that's established. And I really, really love watching this team, especially right now. If you guys have been following me and also joining me on these post-game lives after every game, I have stressed more than once the importance of the month of January. There's a lot of teams that will start to really pick up their momentum following the All-Star break. And while that's really good because those games really start to get super competitive, it's also really good to start before then so that while these other teams are putting their foot on the gas and still trying to form good habits, the Nuggets have already done that. They're starting to form good habits. It's translating to wins, and they are really playing dominant basketball right now. And it's something that I just think we're right on the verge, you guys, of seeing the same basketball they were playing in 2023 when they won. We're just right there. We are right there with the pace. The defense needs a little bit of work, but I think they're just finding that momentum at the right time, and I absolutely love it. So I'm feeling pretty excited. I hope you are too. We will keep you guys covered on all things Denver Nuggets as they take the road for these 5 games. They're on the road for 5 games. Hopefully they can keep this momentum. I don't want them to take their foot off the gas. I don't want them to let their guard down because these games are equally as important now as they will be come the end of the season. When you're fighting for that 1 seed, when you know how competitive the Western Conference is, they're going to matter. So it's very important for this Nuggets team to just keep on building on this momentum and keep creating good habits. I want to see more strides in their defense and creating that defensive identity that's just unstoppable. We're not there yet. Have I seen improvements on their defense? Yes. And for that, I will give them credit, but want to see more of that, of course. So I'm feeling happy. I'm going to get out of here and let you guys go on the Eastern time zone. I know a lot of you are on the East Coast and you're still tuning in. It is getting late over there. We all have work in the morning, so I completely get it. And I want to thank you truly. I know a lot of people in my position say thank you for tuning in. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for the follow. I genuinely mean that. I love what I do. I love my job. I love Guerrilla Sports. I love being able to do this with you guys and basically sit in a room and just talk to myself because none of you are actually vocally speaking back to me. But I appreciate you being here, getting in the chat, getting in the comment section, letting me know your opinions. Even if you disagree with me, I appreciate all of it. I really, really, really do. And I hope that at some point in my career, I get to bump into all of you at a Nuggets game. I promise I am very genuine, very nice. I will never say no to a conversation unless you are like weird or like, I don't know, just creeping me out. But for the most part, I really do enjoy you guys and appreciate you and love the community that we're building here. So hopefully we can keep this going. We'll have you covered on all things Denver Nuggets on their little road stretch here with our fingers crossed and hopefully all the positive energy. So thank you guys tons for tuning in. This has been another Guerrilla Sports Off Court presented by Trusted American Mortgage. Trusted American Mortgage are looking to help you save some money, lowering your monthly payment, getting you a better interest rate. So make sure you check them out. You can either go to trustedamerican.com or if you're watching the show, you can scan this QR code right here in the corner to see how they can help you save some money. So again, love you guys tons. Go Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic is the greatest player in the world. The more you deny it, the sillier you look. We will see you guys very, very soon. Have a great night. Much love and go Nuggets. Bye.